Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our RimWorld Star Wars Let's Play. So last time around we had discussed maybe trying some roleplay stuff with the genetics mod to produce our own force sensitives, or maybe not produce them, but maybe create one or two out of existing characters. So we'll look more into that later. Obviously it's only really going to be a thing once we encounter a force sensitive enemy, because until we get to that point we won't have any genetic samples from them to use, so it's kind of irrelevant until then. With that said, let's go ahead and dive on in. So looks like some people are unhappy. Salt and Deleuze. Salt, why are you still so unhappy? Probably the plague, yeah, but it looks like her immunity is going to catch the infection like any second here, so she'll be fine. And Deleuze, I believe you're over the plague, right? Yeah, you're good. 51%. You weren't even in any trouble. We are gonna need to get you a new spine though, and we should probably start treating some of these scars since you're so unhappy and your medicine is already set to here. Yeah, that's actually giving her quite a bit of pain. Let's, I could just remove her spine. Oh, I could repair it. That's an interesting thought. It would require 80 plasteel and 3 medicine to repair it. That's intriguing. So rather than giving her a bionic spine, I could just fix her existing one, but it's not that much cheaper, so I'm not sure. For now, let's at least deal with that stab scar, because that is giving her a considerable amount of pain. This isn't giving her any pain, it's just slowing her down and making her work slower. And then this is giving her pain as well, but that should be gone any second. So this is really the main source of her pain. And can I direct you to there? I can. We'll start looking at other people as well. I know that there's a lot of random scars around that need to be treated. May, would you mind? Corona's gonna do it? No, I'd rather May do it. I'd rather May do it just because she is the most proficient. And I don't think this is like surgery. I don't think it can fail catastrophically. I could be wrong. So we'll keep an eye on it, but I don't think it can like fail and she dies. Although now that I've said that, I'm worried I just jinxed it. Is there any more human corpses? Hold on, we'll wait till this finishes. I want to see if there's any more human corpses kicking around. I don't think there are. Okay, good. So her stab wound is gone. Stab scar, whatever. So this plague will go away and that'll just leave her with the bad back. Let's actually take a look at the bionic spine. That would actually be back up here. I was panning down as if I was in my 40k base, but no, it's up here. So if we wanted to, we can get rid of that. If we wanted to make a bionic spine, oh, that's the simple prosthetics, that's the tissue, this is the bionics. Don't need a leg. We still have a painkiller queued up. Hopefully they get on that. So a bionic spine. 75 plasteel, 75 steel, and 5 components. Given where we're at with steel and components, the 80 plasteel to fix her original spine seems like a pretty good idea. Because plasteel is something I actually have a decent amount of right now. Steel and components are both a little low. She wouldn't get the bonuses of a bionic spine, but I think there would be less risks as well. We have 25 components. We're basically using up all the steel as we harvest it. So yeah, you know what? While you're in bed, let's go ahead and cure/repair your bad back. And May, do you want to do that as well? I'll do it while she's already out. We'll just one-stop shop for everything. Get her Good as new. Now, that is a lot of plasteel to invest, and she is kind of getting up there in age. How old is she at this point? 61. That's not too bad. But we could see her start suffering from other, you know, diseases and various maladies based on her old age. Like dementia is a thing in this game. Alzheimer's is as well, so, you know, at 61, she's probably not far off from stuff like that. It is entirely possible that she avoids it altogether, so it's not like she's doomed just because she's getting older. But it is something that we need to keep an eye on, because we don't want to invest a bunch of resources into, you know, keeping her healthy if she's just going to deal with one thing after another. This room is nearly done, so let's go ahead and just expand it into that. And make sure all of these get marked for hauling. There's a bit more components. We'll get probably 8 out of that in total. There's 6 there, and then we'll get either like 2 or 3 from that, or potentially less. Okay, this is starting. We don't need to sit there and watch it though. Oh, I don't want simple meals there. There we go. Paste that on over. So we only have... Oh, we have 4 humanoid genetic materials. So we did use all of them. All the corpses. Yeah, this is where they would be. Oh, and there's another Imperial Navy uniform. I still have no idea how this is working. So this is the outer black. Right? Hold on, let's see. What did you just craft? Outer black. Okay, so I also queued up an outer dark, and I want to see what the difference is, because I want them all to be wearing consistent uniform colors. Also, who needed a uniform? I want people that aren't combatants. So, Liam, I think that's you. Yeah, you're not really a combatant. Corona, I feel like you probably are. Yeah. Mordant will be, because he's not a terrible shot. At 5, I can kind of work with that. Zash, you're force sensitive, so you don't really fall into that group. You are going to get an E11 blaster and some stormtrooper armor eventually. Deleuze has a uniform. Kepin, you could get an officer's uniform. So I think Kepin, yeah. Jade, you're a pretty good shot, so we'll get you some armor. Kepin and Liam, it looks like. Kepin's been here longer, so let's get him into a uniform. Go ahead and force wear that. I forget, did I set up clothing assignments for these guys? I did. Alright, so Kepin, you are now Imperial Officer. And he's gonna go wear that. And he should ditch the parka as well, which will be fine indoors. Obviously that'll be a problem outdoors, but I'm not too concerned with that because he shouldn't be going out there really. Heth, let's level you up. Got 1 point. Reflection is tempting now that we have defense full. We could also go in on another ability. We have 7, we need 2 more to get Force Storm unlocked. So I could go Force Rage up to here. What's the difference again? It lowers the cooldown and makes it virtually guaranteed that it'll work. It's tempting. I'm gonna go with Reflection though. Now that he's basically guaranteed, I mean not guaranteed, but it's nearly guaranteed, because this is what, 15% per level. So 5 times 15 is 75. So there's a 75% chance anything that gets shot at him is blocked. And then with this, there's a 20% chance per one of these that that blocked shot gets sent back to sender. And so we're up to 40% right now. We can make that 100. So that means that 75% of shots will get blocked, and 100% of those blocked shots will go back where they came from, which is pretty good. Make him like a one-man. Like, we could use him as cover, essentially. We can set up behind him and just let him deflect everything that gets sent our way while we fire past him. Good, people are hauling stuff outside. Looks like we haven't made a whole lot of headway on this. We need to start cranking more of those out. Also, I have added a few of the mods I've been talking about. So, share the load is now implemented when we're working on these bigger projects. Multiple people can kind of help out. Oh, good, good. Her bad back is treated. So, let's get rid of that. And as soon as her plague and anesthetic goes away, she'll be fine. Where are you at? Okay, so the immunity has surpassed the plague. She'll be fine. I'm reluctant to treat her stab scar while this is happening, because if we put her under, her consciousness could go below. It's at 62, so I don't think that would be a problem. But if we lower her consciousness too much, she could potentially die. We could kill her just by trying to operate on her. So we don't want to do that. Yever's making us some more armor. Anyways, I've also added the mending mod. So let's pause here. And this is a repair bench. I want that gone. We're going to get rid of it, and we're going to replace it with a mending bench, which will not only allow us to fix things without repair kits, it will also allow us, actually I don't know if we can do it at the mending bench. We might need a tailoring bench. Well, we have one. We'll just have to direct it over there. But we can actually start disassembling some of this clothing for the requisite parts. And that will give us hyperweave. I don't know how much hyperweave, but that's one thing that we needed in order to craft Salt a new kidney. So that's something we would like. How are we doing up here? Oh wow, you guys made good progress. Let's see. That's where the wall's gonna be. I'll get it started just for reference. We don't need to actually do it all the way up yet. And yeah, we're making really good headway here. I also queued up lights. The lights require steel though, and we are obviously very low on that. So probably won't get done right away. But there is plenty of steel on the map still. We've got some here queued up for mining. We can also get it from the quarry, but we don't really have any prisoners, so it's kind of difficult. And Mara, are you getting fed? You've been eating raw food. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that back on. We should be able to... Hold on, Corona, can you do that? Because I'd rather she be able to take care of her own. I don't like people having to go in there to feed her. I feel like that's really inefficient. So this will allow her to get the food herself. This isn't a huge drain on power, so I don't think it will really affect us. Our batteries are maxed out. I'm almost tempted to throw in another hydroponics room here, but hydroponics rooms are really expensive power-wise. These are 70 each, and we've been running, what, 12 per room? So is that like 840? 840 power just from the basins? Because that's 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah. And then another 2,900 here. So, like what, 3,700 watts just to run a hydroponics room? I don't know if we can support that right now. What's our input? Oh wow. Maybe we can. Maybe we can. Critical break risk. What's your deal now? We just took care of like all of your... You have cabin fever. You're about to haul some stuff out to a generator, so that should be gone. I don't know why you're still in pain and sick. Like, when is this going to go away? Because she's immune now. It should just go... Oh, we have to wait for that to tick back down. Right, I always forget that. So, it's at 42. It was at like 50 something, but we have to wait for that to tick all the way back down to 0 before the symptoms go away. Always forget that that's a thing. But she should be in considerably less pain now, because her back... Well, her back wasn't giving her pain, but her stab wound was, and she should be moving a lot better, and it does seem like she is. Although, obviously, her being sick is still affecting that, but 91 is still a lot better than where she was at before. Oh, man. So we need steel. So it's a weird problem to have. Steel is usually something I have so much of. And for a while in this playthrough, we did have plenty. We just kind of burn through it really fast. But in my other playthroughs that are running, like, we're swimming in steel. And so it feels really odd to be short on that of all things. But we'll get more. It's not like steel's hard to come by. We'll get more plasteel there. I can't believe how much plasteel we have compared to steel. Like, plasteel was such a problem for us. And now all of a sudden we have just like more than we know what to do with. Speaking of, so we are still making components. Lightsaber internals. No matter what, we need steel and components for that. I would like to make Zash a lightsaber, but obviously we can't front the steel and components costs right now. And those I can't change the material of, so they're always going to require those things. When I make the actual weapon itself, I can pick what we make it out of. But not the casing and the internals. Those have to be plasteel, steel components. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, the textiles traders left comms range. I need like a bulk goods trader would be pretty handy right now. I wouldn't mind that. These are ready to get built. It'd be nice if somebody would get on that. Oh, that's the other thing too. I didn't even consider it, but we couldn't expand this even if we had the power. I mean, we do. But we don't have the materials, so we can't do that. Unless we can make like marble hydroponics basins. What a bummer. How's our tree farm coming, by the way? 42%. That's going pretty well. Growth rate's at 0. But that's going to start kicking up soon because the sun's rising. %200 fertility. So yeah, this should be pretty effective. Temperature in there is a little lower than ideal, but it's still fine. I have this set to 50. So it'll keep going up as long as it can. I don't think we'll ever get it that high. If that becomes a problem, I'll set it down to like, I think 30 is usually good. Maybe 35 just for a slight buffer. But we want it fairly warm in there just to kind of deal with the heat loss. And are all these bears forbidden? That one's not. Okay, I'm going to forbid them just in case I don't want them accidentally getting turned into food. It's okay if a couple of MacLeod do. And honestly, we could start making fine meals if we wanted to, because that is a lot of meat. There's a lot of meat. But it's also a lot of MacLeod muscles if we wanted to like soup people up. So that's something to think about too. What do we need for this again? The hybrid implant plasteel wire mesh. We haven't crafted one of those, have we? I should pause that because somebody will probably jump on it. That's going to require steel and components as well, so we'll have to put that off. We'll just get rid of both of those. And still making really good headway over here. It looks like these floors did get smoothed out, so this hallway is almost finished. And I think we need to fill this in right here. Like so. And we'll probably need another... Oh, there's our light there already. Okay. Looks like I was on top of things. Wow, you guys are mining like crazy. Let's see. Let's just have them go all the way through then. And you can do this one as well. We'll have to be careful here. In fact, I might have them go around and wall that off first. Let's at least mine to there. And we're gonna build some wall here. Just because I do not want those connected. Who's got a work frenzy? Boss? Okay. Yeah, so we'll wall that off. That way, none of the prisoners that are working this can go out there. Because if there is a prison break, they could just go out these two doors. The doors will not slow them down. and they'll just be free. Why? Oh, okay. I was going to say, why don't those have power? When I zoomed out, it looked like they were black, but nope. We are getting power there. We're going to leave these forbidden for a while, because obviously all of our steel and components have been getting funneled into that, and we don't need that power. I'll let that one finish because the resource is already there, minus a little bit of steel. But the other 6 we'll wait on, and actually we can start recycling some of these. I'm going to have these 2 deconstructed. We've already built more than enough to make up for that. So that'll get us some steel and components back that we can put toward other things. And once we get a bit more built up, I'll finish the 6 off over here, and then get rid of the remainder of these. And then we'll have a little bit more room in front of our base to work with for defenses and things like that. Who needed a weapon? Liam, you needed one, right? I don't really see anything that would be worth giving to you. Honestly, you should probably be running away. But, like, I wouldn't mind him having, like, a little knife or a shiv or something to protect himself. Like, Deleuze has one. Maybe you should take her knife. I don't think she's gonna do anybody any good with it. Kepin's looking sharp in that uniform. It looks like the darker one, so that's the outer black. So, can I get somebody to make me an outer dark? Is that gonna happen? Oh, right, that requires steel too. Everything requires steel. But yes, I would like an outer dark uniform, and I want to see if that's the difference. The problem is, they all read the same. This also says outer black. So, I don't know just based on the description which one is which, but I'm thinking the outer dark might be this one. And I actually prefer this one because it's a little bit more... You can just see it better. Like, you can kind of make the details out. These ones are so dark that you can't see much other than the belt buckle. And so if it turns out that the outer dark is the one that we want, I might turn these, or like rend these down. Well, first what I'll do is I'll make replacements. I'll have the replacements ready. Then everybody will trade in their wrong color uniforms. We'll turn the uniforms back into cloth, which we can actually... Oh, right, we need steel. I'll queue it up. It's just one of the many things that we need to get done here. Do not want it made out of wood. I would say all steel. I mean, wait, we need... How much wood? Okay, I was looking at the loom or something. So 125 steel and 3 components. I'll put it right there. And that will allow us to start fixing things. I'm also fairly certain that we can start disassembling from here. Yeah, recycle apparel. I gotta be careful about that though, because they'll grab anything that's not nailed down. So I have to make sure that, like, anything that I don't want recycled is forbidden or on somebody's body. So, like, this stuff, for example, I wouldn't mind getting recycled because we're not going to use it. Dead man's clothes are going to be more valuable now because we can actually turn those into stuff. Jade got herself stuck in here somehow. I still don't understand how that happens, because clearly to get in there they had to pass through one of the doors, and apparently they just decide in the middle that they're going to listen now. I don't get that, but okay. Let's see. Muffalopede chitin parka. I don't want anything to do with that, but we do want to take those down. So I'm gonna forbid this. We'll make sure it gets sold. Is there any other clothing? It's gonna be really hard to tell. Boss, why aren't you working, man? You got a work frenzy going on right now. You're not even gonna use it. It's probably just no construction for him to do. Let's zoom in a little. Get those marked. Here, if I queue up some more of this, he might start doing stuff. Crap, where was that? I think it was supposed to be here. And we'll do another one there. Yeah, we'll get those started, and that should give him something to do. There he goes. He's off. Let's get these marked for hauling. Not that that'll happen anytime soon, but just so that it happens eventually. Oh, man. Steel, steel, steel. We need to start strip mining a lot of this area. Also, be great if they would get on this. But it seems like everybody wants to help in the prison. Which, you know what, fine. You know, it needs to get done, so let's just get it done. And then we'll focus on everything else. You know what I'm also going to do? I'm going to have them reinforce this. I don't like the idea of that being one thick. So we'll make that double thick. And potentially what we could do is, well, no, I don't think that's necessary. But if we wanted to, we could mine this out, and that would be an outlet for conduits. We kind of have that right here already. We also need to rewire this. And that's something, well, again, that's going to require steel, so it's not something that we need to work on right away. But conduits are going to need to run through here. We only have it so far, but we need to wrap it up and around and run through here. And, I mean, that's still going to require us to go down here a little bit, unless we could dig this out and replace it. That's something that we could do. Not very high on my list of priorities, though. It's already wired. It already works. I'd just like to clean it up and protect that wiring a little bit better. At some point. Doesn't have to be now. Doesn't need to be the near future even. Just needs to get done eventually. Alright. Everything's going pretty well. Yever's making some fantastic progress on that armor. That seems like such a high number, but she's gone so far already. I think the Star Wars equipment is really expensive in both resource and time investment. Compared to, like, in the 40k mod, we make things relatively fast compared to this. And they are fairly overpowered, like a lot of the stuff in this. So it just feels kind of weird because we can make a lasgun, which, I mean, is not a great weapon, but in RimWorld it still tears people apart. We can make one fairly quickly. It is a little bit costly because we have to go through the 40k mods, different, like, resources that they have. Really? That's the best you can do? Alright, fine. I'm not going to worry about it. But anyways, you know, we have to make the special Imperial components or whatever. But the actual amount of work that goes into making the weapons is not that much. Same with the armor. But this is just an insane amount. Hope one of our wind turbines is down. There goes more of our components. Luckily, we're kind of accumulating them with all this mining we're doing. So at least there's that. Real shame we didn't hit any compacted steel in here. That would have been really nice. We have compacted steel elsewhere. It's just we had to mine this out anyways. It would have been nice to hit some as we went through here. And eventually these are going to be all separate rooms. Again, hydroponics rooms. Or, and this is more preferable, but I don't know how we would manage it. Some sort of greenhouse where we could just plant directly onto the soil, but we'd have to find a way to import soil into here. And then obviously, well, clearing the mountain over the roof is not a big deal. That's easy. So we could very easily put glass in here. It would make us a little bit more vulnerable because one of the great things about building a base under a mountain or into a mountain is that you are protected from stuff like drop potting into your base or mortars firing into it. So that would make this vulnerable, but I'm not that concerned with it. So yeah, it's just something to think about. Alright, so we've managed to get some of this mined out. I'm gonna go ahead and queue up the next layer. Hopefully this goes like well further in, because we need all the steel we can get. That's a pretty good amount right there, actually. But we always need more. It's the one thing we never have enough of. Well, most things we can never get enough of, but steel especially. Steel is like water in this game. There's definitely enough steel over there to get this done, so that would be great. And I kind of want to try this. I'm just worried that, first of all, if I unforbid them, somebody's going to run and grab them and try to wear them. But I'm also worried that they're going to find something else to recycle that I don't want recycled. But I guess that's just the risk we take. I feel like I've forbidden just about everything clothing-wise. So if they manage to find something, then they definitely got the drop on me, because I thought I had everything. But I'm not so confident now. Can I, like, force you to do it? I mean, you're a crafter, right? I can. Yeah, let's do that real quick. I'm going to keep you up just a little bit longer. I want to see what you do. He's going to take this. You know what? That's fine. That's Dead Man's armor anyway, so at least we get to see this in action. Now, this bar starts at whatever quality was left, since that was below 50. It started, like, you know, just a little bit less than half. And it'll tick down. We get resources for, you know, the longer it goes. So the higher the quality, the more stuff you get. But also the longer it takes. Or at least the greater chance of getting more. Because you can potentially get nothing. I don't know if you can get nothing on, like, a full quality item, but you can definitely get screwed over. Yeah, he got some steel. 22 steel. Perfect. What are you doing now? Oh, you're grabbing the other one? You can go to bed now. I just wanted to make sure that worked. But yeah, I don't mind you doing that one either. That's just going to give us steel again, but we need steel, and this is Dead Man's clothes, so why the hell not? And I think that's where we'll leave it for today. So we didn't get a ton of big stuff done, but we did get this all mined out, which is nice. We are slowly fixing our steel and component issue, so that's good too. Once we have this done, we'll be able to start fixing a lot of our gear. I don't remember if I mentioned it in this playthrough or another one, because this is something that I'd like to do in all of our playthroughs, is that I'd like to have maybe a shelf set up next to this, and ideally it would be more than one shelf, with just some of the standard equipment laid out. So like 2 sets of Stormtrooper armor, 2 E11 blasters, 2 Stormtrooper helmets, and maybe like 2 jumpsuits. And so we would just have people cycle through it. Whenever their stuff got damaged, they would go pick up one of each thing on the shelves and leave their damaged stuff there. Somebody would be operating the mending workbench and just patch that stuff up and then put it back on there for whoever comes in next. And that way we'd always be cycling through equipment and getting it patched up rather than letting it fall into disrepair. So that's obviously a long way off, but something I would really like to do. Who loaded all the resources into this and then left it at 1 work left? I can't believe that. Like, 1 more second and they would have had this done, and they decided, nope, I'm going to bed. Alright, well, with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time playing some RimWorld with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode.